Stand by for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my dear Rick Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. Your go.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow. Hey, great.
I got it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
I'm telling you, Tom, if someday we get to the 3-day work week, we'll be defined by our hobbies instead of our jobs. You know, when we meet somebody, instead of saying, hey, I'm a lawyer who also is a gamer, you'll say, hey, I'm a gamer who also happens to law.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday morning Stateline Show. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. We got a special guest coming on here shortly. Looking forward very much to chatting. Saturday morning Stateline Show. I've got an echo right now because I'm checking our stream, as I like to do that.
I was going to say, what the heck was that? It wasn't me.
I'm still learning the ropes of this awesome restream, which I'm loving, by the way. Hi, Brett Farbear.
By the way, Brett Favre, number 4, Aaron Rodgers, number 12. That means Aaron Rodgers is 3 times better than Favre. Anyway, I know we've used that before, but it just popped in my head. I don't know.
Well, he's 3 times the efficiency numbers, or whatever you want to, as far as difference between throwing picks and TDs.
I know. I know.
The man is incredible. The man is incredible.
Yep. Yeah.
Today is what is today? Today is the 12th day of February, the year 2022, the latest it has ever been
In the history of mankind.
And you're absolutely correct. We are streaming live on the Facebook, on the YouTube. I think we're actually on LinkedIn now.
LinkedIn.
I think LinkedIn is working now. It was on like some sort of beta test before. And
Do you use LinkedIn?
I do use LinkedIn. I usually look at it once or twice a day. LinkedIn does a daily roundup of like news, which I really like. It's not a broadcast news, although I think for a while they were trying to do some like a video of some of the news. They do a roundup of some important stories, and then they usually have a quote of the day, and I like that too. So that's part of my daily notifications from LinkedIn. Like for example, today there's a story about, do you need boundaries? Are you using your phone too much? That sort of thing. Athletes share keys to career shifts. Sounds like an interesting article. How to quit your job gracefully. All right. And the idea of the day today is just breathe. By focusing on your breath, you bring yourself to the present moment and send messages to your brain to relax and reduce stress. So
you can always tell when somebody's using their phone too much. They take it with them in the bathroom. I understand. We're all waiting for that important call. Okay, I get it. But, you know.
I feel convicted.
Hey, there are certain jobs, and I know yours is one of them, where your phone is 24/7.
I'll put it this way. It's one thing to take your phone in the bathroom because you know you're going to be in there for a while, like you would like a newspaper back in the day, right?
Yeah, right.
It's another thing to walk into like a public restroom and be talking on your phone.
Oh yeah.
That's one that bugs me, that it's like, dude, you really want to share your conversation with people who are, you know, making those noises right now?
Yeah. Or even at the urinal, you're saying, oh yeah, over there by Ted. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Bob gonna be there? Sure. I don't like Bob. He's a jerk. Anyway, and the guy in the urinal next to you is, you know, kind of looking at you by the side of his eye and thinking you're just a weirdo.
Who are you talking to, and why? Why?
Well, that's a big bugaboo for me. It's a pet peeve. You know, when I'm on my phone and I'm walking into a Walmart or something like that, I'm like, hey, gotta let you go. I see that guy that. But now, since Walmart has much gone away from customer service altogether. I actually go in there and make no human contact whatsoever. Go through the lane, and then I can do and then go, and I can stay on my phone the whole time. I don't talk loud on it. You know, sometimes.
Did you get your W-9 from Walmart this week for your taxes? I did my taxes this week. You know,
no, I did not get.
Had to report the income I made from checking myself out at
Walmart.
Walmart.
Absolutely, yes. I'm still waiting for that. Good point. Call them because I think I do more work. What a mess that is.
Get that
and
done.
Basically, they okay. So now we're on a rant here. That they basically force you into that because they have 30 check lanes for self check, and they have about 10, maybe 8. I think they have about 8, only 2 working at one time, and they're all the way back to women's lingerie. It's fine. I don't mind hanging out in the women's lingerie. Oh, did I say that on the air? No, I'm kidding. But seriously, I mean, you're all the way back to the woman's aisle or to the candy aisle or whatever, because there are literally 10 deep. It's such a joke, and you can't find it. And I'm finding that it's the norm. It's almost the norm.
Right.
Try to find somebody at Woodman's, and I love Woodman's. I can't say anything bad about Woodman's, but they don't have a lot of people on the floor to help you. I'm minutes looking for sauce. Oh my God. And the spaghetti sauce aisle. But you
all right,
know,
well,
I
enough
mean,
about the rant.
Okay.
Let's do a big number of the week. This week's big number of the week is a big one. It is 11 billion, everybody. 11 billion.
11 billion.
And our answer is Switch or Spotify. Switch or Spotify. Our last check, we had Tom way out in front, 4-1 over Joanne in our race to 10. See, Tom barely won the last one, 10-9. He's on a roll right now. After a number of months of kind of getting beat up, he's back in the groove.
Joanne won the first 2 breakfasts, and then I finally won one, and now we're working on the 4th, and I got an early lead, but that could change. That could change almost overnight,
Yes, it could.
So, not overnight. It has to be like 4 or 5 overnights, but hey.
We are still, I'm still learning a lot of this restream stuff, trying out some stuff. There we go. See how that looks for a while. There, I like that. Got some shout outs for this week, and let's start with Lino's. If you're taking your honey somewhere for Valentine's weekend, or I recommend this. I highly recommend this, and I hope you have the kind of relationship that this can happen. You don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day or even Valentine's Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrate it whenever you can celebrate it, whenever you want to celebrate it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on that day. The wife and I celebrated Valentine's Day last night. We had an awesome dinner at Lino's, which was absolutely excellent. Tom, I've been really good.
Oh, yeah.
I've been really good about not overeating for quite a while, but last night I could not help myself. I left Lino's uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. I haven't done that in a long time. So, anywho, kudos to Lino food.
Been there, done so many times. That was our treat. Mom and Dad would say, okay, and we're like, oh my God, we're going to Lino's. That was always a treat. And I've been there many times since in the last 20, 30 years, but not enough. It's way on the other side of town. So,
Jacob,
Jake, how are you, bud?
Spike, good to see you. Greg, always a pleasure.
You been to Lino's lately? We're talking about how great Lino's is.
Yeah, I have. Actually, my friend had her mom's 60th birthday not that long ago. So I popped in, and I love their pizza. I know when I was in college, they had like a $12 pizza salad special thing. I don't remember.
Oh my God, yeah. And that
Yeah.
salad's phenomenal too. They give it to you in a big bowl. If you're there with, several people, you get a huge bowl of it, and they refill it for you if you run out. Oh my God, it's just such a wonderful place.
If I'm gonna knock anything about Lino's, and I can't really knock anything about Lino's, there's better places for bread. They have good bread. It's not, but you don't need the bread there to be great because you're dipping it in the sauce anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's how some people go to Olive Garden because the breadsticks there are the bomb, right? You go to Texas Roadhouse because their biscuits with that honey butter
cinnamon
stuff.
butter,
Cinnamon butter. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's dessert before your meal and then dessert during your meal and dessert after your meal. So
yeah, oh my God. But the best bread of all is the backyard.
The where?
It's just bread, the backyard. They got some buttery stuff on the outside of it. And you throw some butter on that. Oh my God, backyard bread is the best.
Okay.
So,
I don't remember that for some reason, but
Scoreboard Bar and Grill. They have like fried bread that are more like, I call them donuts because that's essentially what they feel like, but those are really good.
Yeah.
Really? That's good to know. Scoreboard's great. I love the scoreboard. I used to go there and watch football games back in the day when the Packers weren't on TV.
Sure, pre-Sunday ticket days.
Somewhere. Yeah. Now Dusty Boots. Been that way for a while.
Yeah, I used to.
But
When
now
I was
Packers are
in
on.
college, that was my bar.
Good stuff. We're getting hungry now. I'm ready for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring down the donuts. Before we get to all things NFL, Packers, Super Bowl and stuff with Jake here, a couple of other quick shout outs for this week. Want to say kudos to the Rockford Area Association of Realtors. We had dueling pianos Thursday night at the Forest Hills Country Club. And we raised a bunch of money for Gigi's Playhouse, which is an awesome service here for youth, young adults with Down syndrome. And so kudos to the, I believe the YPN of Rockford Area Association of Realtors put this event on. Side note, my daughter, Mariah, won the 50-50 raffle and didn't even blink an eye. She donated it all right back to Gigi's. So it was like over $800. It was awesome. So kudos to her for knowing that Gigi's is worthy cause and just passing that on. We also had an awesome Rockford linked lunch for those of you looking to network, business professionals. I know some of our networking opportunities in these last couple of years have dwindled away. Some may not come back, but Rockford linked lunch is back. And we meet the second Friday of every month for lunch at the Machine Shed. And I had a wonderful get together for that on Friday. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff I really, really wanted to shout out this week. It was just a crazy busy, especially end of the week. And tonight, it's all about the fur ball. And if you don't have your tickets yet, I don't think you can walk in and get tickets. You had to get them ahead of time. But Paws Humane Society is doing like a live Facebook stream of the silent auction or some kind of auction thing online. So if you want to still donate and be a part of what's going on at the fur ball tonight, you can do so virtually via their Facebook page. So we'll talk with Joanne about that.
Now, is that during the hours of the actual banquet, or do you like log in now, make a bid, and then check it out later?
Good question. I don't know. That's a good question. You probably could log in now. They probably have it all cataloged and ready to go already. So raising money for Paws Humane Society is going on today and two nights. As far as one other thing I wanted to mention, and you guys can chime in on this, I'm really, really hooked on podcasts, not just ours, but various podcasts these days. And the one I was listening to this morning when I woke up before I got out of bed was Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe.
Love Mike Rowe.
The Dirty Jobs guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's an incredible storyteller. He is like our generation's Paul Harvey.
Good analogy. I like that.
He is.
Your generation. I'm younger. I just want to continue to point that out as long as.
Oh, come on.
Well, that
right? 29.
I turned
right?
30 in September, so I'm washed up now.
Well, the only reason I know that is because you and Matt are the same age. And Matt's 29, but he turns 30 in April 1st. So Yeah, you are washed
So
up. You're over the hill, man.
Mike Rowe's podcast is called The Way I Heard It, and it's excellent. Today, the one that he just released this week is called The Kooky Rojas of Cable.
Oh, geez.
Tom knows who Kooky
Cookie
Rojas
Rojas,
is.
former Major League Baseballer, Hall of Famer, played for the Kansas City Royals, among other teams. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure he played for at least 7 teams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he did play every single position on the ball field.
Oh, wow.
Some utility guys, you can kind of throw around between the infield and outfield. This guy actually did pitch and catch as well. So
wow,
he was
pretty cool.
He was the guy. Mike Rowe, The Way I Heard It podcast. Do you guys have any go-to favorite podcasts you've been listening to?
Go ahead, Jake, because I don't really have an answer for that.
I mean, Game On Wisconsin, right? I got to listen to all of those. So those are. I've got a bunch on there. If you want me to include not my group of people, I like Locked On Packers with Peter Bukowski. I'm mostly on the sports side of things. R2C2, which is Ryan Rucco and CC Sabathia, if you guys are into baseball. And that is not just a Yankees podcast, that's baseball. And it's CC Sabathia, unfiltered, uncut. So, I mean, it does get a little salty on the language side of things, but I love CC Sabathia. So listening to him, he's very entertaining.
I had no idea he was a good talker. That's cool.
Oh yeah, he's incredible. And Rucco is awesome. I hope that Rucco does some stuff on ESPN. He does some NBA, does some WNBA, but I'm hoping he gets more. I think he's a rising star. The other one I listen to that is not on the sports side of thing is called Podcast Sans Frontiers. And you're going to call me a nerd, and that's fine, but it is a breakdown of every single Metal Gear Solid game that was ever invented. So that is my favorite video game that was ever invented. So it's a couple other nerds just like me talking about the adventures of Big Boss and Solid Snake.
Cool.
Okay, so for my answer, I'm not big into podcasts. I don't spend a lot of time on my computer. When I'm on my computer, since I do trivia 3 nights a week, actually 4, I get paid 3 nights and I play it 1 night. I'm up to here with my computer, making trivia quizzes, doing whatever. So I just don't spend a whole lot of time on podcasts. But I've caught Joe Rogan's a couple of times. I just wrote down the Mike Rowe one so I can remind myself to do it. But me, being ADD, I don't know if you guys can identify with this, out of sight, out of mind for me. I will forget it 10 minutes later. And then somebody has to remind me. Unless I commit it to memory. There are certain tricks you can do, and I've done that, and I've done it quite well. But I haven't done that with the whole podcast thing yet. But I do spend a fair amount of time on YouTube watching various videos, which are essentially snippets from podcasts. And like you said, Jake, a lot of the Packers stuff.
Well,
but since the Packers lost, one more thing. Since the Packers lost, I have kind of backed off a little bit. I'm mad. I watched the AFC and NFC championship games, and I watched the Super Bowl, but I'm just still mad. So there you go.
But just knowing the Packers should have been there. That's just it. I totally agree. I've got my phone, which I do all my business on, which has to, be at the ready at any moment. But I also have my old phone, my last phone, which I bought and own. This is the one that almost is always open to Spotify, pretty much, 24/7. I mean, I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when I wake up at 3 a.m. and I know I'm not going to fall back asleep unless something's making noise in my ear besides my wife snoring, I got to put that in my ear, and I'm listening to Mike Rowe, Joe Rogan or something. And so that's my go-to. Spotify's on a lot until Riley and Joe start their show, and then I listen to WROK on their app, which sounds so much better than over the air. It's stereo quality from their app. So 5 to 9, Riley and Joe. That's pretty much a daily thing too. So, okay. Let's switch the background. All things Packers and NFL. And for those who don't know, Jacob Westendorf runs this little thing called Game On Wisconsin, and it is an awesome website, an awesome resource. How many shows are you up to now, Jake?
Oh gosh, we grew even more than I thought we would in year 2. So we have something every day of the week on the podcast end, Monday through Friday. The off season, so we kind of go by what season we're in. So when the Packers season ends, we transition to the draft. So some people kind of take some time off when that happens. But one Monday through Friday during the season on the podcast side of things. And then we do a live YouTube stream Monday through Thursday. This year, the most exciting was that we had, everyone's exciting, but we did a show every Tuesday with Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
He took Jamal Williams' spot from last season.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that Marquez is going to be playing elsewhere next season too. So maybe we're the bad luck charm of sending people to other teams. I don't know. But I miss Jamal. I loved him. I was really sad
we all loved him. Absolutely. And I'm okay, Packers didn't go past the first round. But I know up to that point, I'm thinking he's scratching his head going, no, I think I maybe should have stayed with Green Bay.
I know he wanted to. At a certain point, it wasn't really his choice anymore.
Yeah.
No, the money wasn't going to be there. I mean,
no, once they signed Aaron Jones, that was it.
And you can't expect somebody like a Jamal Williams to take a pay cut to stay there. You expect an Aaron Rodgers to do it because this is what Tom Brady did. And that's how Tom Brady gets another Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. I wish Aaron Rodgers would just say, okay, guys, look, cut my pay in half. I don't care. Cut my pay in half. Go out and get. I had proposed an idea, a trade that I thought would be really good. Give the Bears a second and maybe an Equanimeous St. Brown for Allen Robinson. That gives you a legitimate two. And I think Allen Robinson and Aaron Rodgers would mesh well. Devontae still your number one.
I think Allen Robinson's washed up. I watched him play when Chicago came to Green Bay this year. And maybe it's because he wasn't happy in Chicago. I know there was a lot of smoke on that front, but I know the quarterback play is not great, but
I wonder if it's more attitude than ability.
It could be, but I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing is if it's attitude in one place, then yeah, Green Bay is a better situation winning wise, but
I think Chicago's situation coaching wise with Matt Nagy was awful. Awful. He had no idea how to use Justin Fields. He certainly had no idea how to use Mitch Trubisky. His play, I'll do it my way, no matter if this is going to do it my way. And I'm pretty sure Allen Robinson just said, you know what, this isn't working. And that's why he wasn't very productive. You infuse him into a situation like that, he becomes a much better player. I'm not going to say all pro worthy, but I think he gets 40 to 50 catches easy in Green Bay. Because they got you're not going to. You got Allen Lazard. I think you might have him in a. How long has he been there?
This was his third year, so he's a restricted free agent now.
Yeah,
I still love Lazard. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jake, on where the Packers are going to go, especially after Aaron's little MVP speech the other night?
His MVP speech sounded like a guy who was going to retire.
It did.
I do know James Jones has said on the air all week, Mike Silver, AJ Hawk, all those guys at Radio Row have said he's coming back. And these are the guys that said last year he was coming back amidst all the noise of he's leaving. My column that I wrote after the season was over is I would trade him, but my opinion doesn't matter. I understand Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur. It's very easy for me to tell the team what to do. It's not my job on the line. So I think Rodgers is going to come back. I think they're going to extend him for 3 years or so, give or take 1 year, one way or the other. But I think he'll be here for a longer term than 1 year, but a shorter term than like a normal 5-year extension. And they're going to try and make a run at winning a championship, which they haven't been able to do. They've been so close the last 3 years. They've been the best team the last 2 years and haven't been able to get it done. And I had my reasons for thinking that. That's why I said they should trade Rodgers, because I think at some point you get to a point where you just kind of know how that movie's going to end. And we were that way with Favre for a while too. You knew that when we'd get to the playoffs,
he was going to throw a crucial interception,
if not several. With Rodgers, he may not throw. Rodgers may not throw a bunch of interceptions, but he'll play poorly, and he played bad against San Francisco. I know a lot of Packer fans don't like fans in general don't like to blame their best players when their favorite team loses. But I know the special team stunk, but I think the quarterback and the offense had plenty of opportunities to make it so that special teams unit would not. It was 7-0 from the first quarter all the way to the middle of the third quarter. And then it was 10-3 until the last 2 possessions of the game. So they had plenty of time to make it 17-3, 24-3.
17. It was 7-3 at halftime, actually, I think. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They still had many opportunities. In fact, he had Devontae double covered, but Alan Lazard running right across the field, right across the middle of the field. And if you could see Devontae and throw it there, then you could have seen Lazard and thrown it there. He definitely didn't have it. But I will say this about San Francisco, and they showed it in the NFC Championship game as well. Much better team than they were early on. That was a team that played like they could have been a 12-5 team, had the ball bounced a little differently. And remember, Mason Crosby kicks what, a 52-yard field goal to win that game when they played the first time, 30-28 or something like 30-28, I believe it was. They were a better team in weeks 9 through 17 than they were 1 through 9. And I think we kind of lose sight of that. They were a 10-7 team, but essentially they were a much better team than that. And that's kind of what snuck up on everybody. And I think had LA beaten San Francisco in the last week of the season, then San Francisco's out, New Orleans is in, and Green Bay then gets, I don't know who they would have gotten, Philly, or not Philly. They might have gotten Dallas, maybe. I don't know.
It all would have changed based on all that stuff.
Yeah, right. It would have all changed. They would have gotten somebody other than a very hot and very good and very intimidating San Francisco team. What San Francisco did was they out-physicaled the Packers. And that's fairly easy to do when you've got a makeshift line, when you've got, I don't know, Aaron Jones was banged up a little bit. It was the
A.J. Dillon broke his rib during the game.
Yeah,
during the game, Dillon. Yes.
That's right. It was A.J. Dillon. And Randall wasn't there. He was out. So, and they struggled with injuries for most of the season. And they were doing it with very good quarterback play, evidenced by the fact that he won his second MVP in 2 years. Still a great quarterback.
Say, Jake, I'm so encouraged by them bringing in the guy from the Raiders to run the special teams, and I would think that would give a little bit of reason to stay. What were your thoughts about that guy?
To me, it's coordinators are easy scapegoats all the time. If the defense stinks, we blame the coordinator. If the offense stinks, you blame the coordinator or the play caller. Like, that's the easy thing to do. But special teams, I mean, they've gone the cheap route every hire that Matt LaFleur's ever made has been the cheap route. They Sean Menenga, and then they went from Menenga to Drayton, and then from Drayton now to Bisaccia, who's the highest paid coordinator in the NFL, according to Tom Silverstein. So I am just happy that it was somebody outside of the organization, somebody with a proven track record. Now, his track record isn't that his special teams group is the best team in the league, but if they were the 16th best special teams in football this year, they might be playing tomorrow instead of sitting at home and watching the game. And it was incredible to me that
good point.
Last year's special teams was terrible, and we all knew that. And they got worse. That was hard to do. Like, they got a better punter because Bojo was better than J.K. Scott, and they got worse. That's incredible to me that they were able to accomplish that. It's something that Paul Brettel, one of my buddies that writes for Dairyland Express, which is a fan-sided site, if you guys want to check him out, wrote something that said, it's not just the coordinator you got to fix. They have to commit to special teams. And the Packers have treated special teams as an afterthought organizationally for probably 15 years. Somebody told me the other day that they have one kick return for a touchdown since 2000. Randall Cobb in 2010, and then Allen Rossum had one that year. And punt return's a little bit different. But when's the last time they had a guy that was back there on a punt return that you're like, hey, this guy could house this? Like
Desmond Howard.
You're talking yeah, I mean, Micah, you're exaggerating a little bit, but
a little bit.
But Micah Hyde hasn't been a Packer for now 6 years. So they have some issues, and it was stuff that was fixable throughout the course of the year. This is why I don't just blame Drayton. Gutekunst watched Amari Rodgers fumble punts all season. And I watched Amari Rodgers play his first game as a pro. I was in the stadium when they played against Houston in this first preseason game. And I said right away, he doesn't look comfortable. And you chalk it up as, well, that's his first preseason game. Of course he doesn't look comfortable. But then he never really did. So getting a veteran that you could find that could – I mean, I just wanted a guy that was as simple as could he wave his hand and get a fair catch. And you got a long snapper that weighs as much as I do. I'm 220 pounds. That's how much Steven Wardle weighs. No wonder he's getting bulldozed by a 300-pounder on the biggest punt of the game. It was incredible to me the way the Packers special teams just – Aaron Rodgers even said something about it after the game. Like, just don't completely screw it up for us, and we're the best team. But they did.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
The nightmares of Seattle all over again. So
But I'm glad it was in the first round of the championship game again, because you could actually put a reason why. You did, Jake. Well said. They special teams they were missing in so many areas, and now you don't have to scratch your head. It's not rocket science. All you got to do is, okay, we're going to fix this. And now with Rich Bisaccia, yeah, I think they might have fixed it because people like him. He came in and did the unthinkable. He took a Las Vegas Raiders team that was mired in controversy. They had lost Henry Ruggs, a very unfortunate situation there. They had lost their head coach. They were a mess. And he comes in there and gives them an identity back. And of course, Derek Carr, kudos to him too. He's a very good quarterback. And he gets them in the playoffs.
And one throw away from beating the team that's playing on Super Bowl Sunday. They threw an interception in the red zone against Cincinnati the first weekend of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Would they have made it to the Super Bowl? Probably not, because I think Kansas City then, or maybe Buffalo, whatever. I mean, everything changes, butterfly effect, whatever. But before we leave this topic, I wanted to know if Aaron Rodgers retires, if they trade him to Denver, what do you think they do? Do they get Teddy Bridgewater in return? Do they just go Jordan Love, bring him up? I don't think the Jordan Love experiment's going to work. What do they do in that case?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has always referred to Jordan Love as my replacement. Now, that could be a smart mouth comment toward the front office of saying, you really picked this guy to replace me. But in reality, that is kind of how that works. For most of the time, if a team trades up for a quarterback in the first round, he's going to play at some point. If Rodgers leaves, my theory is you drafted this kid in the first round, you have to let him play. Trading or getting Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, somebody like that back in a theoretical Rodgers trade, I don't think that does much for the team, because if Rodgers leaves, whether by trade or by retirement, the entire roster is going to look very different, because they're not going to have these big contracts with great players, no question. Like if Rodgers leaves, Devontae Adams, I don't think is somebody they should be bringing back in, because paying a receiver $30 million in a rebuilding situation, you kind of see where that's going. But
exactly,
I don't think the quarterback situation should change. Then Jordan Love should be your starter, and then you give him a year. If it's by trade, he has a year or two, and then if he stinks, then you have a bunch of trade ammo to move up and get the next guy. If he's good, then you have a bunch of ammo to build around him. If it's by retirement, then obviously that's the worst case scenario for the Packers. If Aaron Rodgers retires, that's the worst case scenario. No picks. He's not your quarterback. And now you have a boatload of dead cap. Exactly. Yeah. And you want him to either be your quarterback for the next few years, or you want him to play for Denver or name your team and get you a Godfather King's ransom offer in return. But Jordan Love should be the starter if Aaron Rodgers is.
You're the GM. If you're Brian Gutekunst, and look, I want to be traded, and you've got your pick of the list, you got 3 or 4 teams calling who to replace him, or do you just say, just give us a couple, maybe a first, maybe a third, and maybe a linebacker or something like that, and then we'll go with Jordan Love? Or if you could pick, you could trade him to Dallas and get Dak Prescott. I wouldn't want Dak Prescott, but I'm just saying, I
want Derek Carr.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Derek Carr. Threw passes to Devontae Adams in college.
Nope.
Yes.
Derek Carr is Mike Holmgren. There's a book I read about Brett Favre once upon a time. Mike Holmgren used to call quarterbacks 9 and 7 quarterbacks. And I think that's what Derek Carr is. Not that wins is a quarterback stat, but I just think that if everything is good around him, Carr will be fine. But if he has to like do something on his own kind of thing or make a big spot, I don't think he's going to do something like that. Personally.
I only bring that up because I found out that Derek Carr and Devontae Adams played together in college, and I'm curious.
They're good friends. They're good friends. Okay, but I'll tell you what, we had a quarterback in Green Bay for 18, 20 years, whatever. This guy right here who would choke it up a big spot. We've lost Super Bowl chances because Brett Favre wanted to play Superman and throw into triple coverage. So I would be okay with Derek Carr because I think the guy's got ice water in his veins. My own personal opinion, what he did this year with that team, leading the team with an interim coach and everything else.
Yeah, and I like him too.
I like Derek Carr. That would be the one guy that I would say could probably stay as good as Aaron. You're not going to, unless something crazy happens, you're probably not going to be a Super Bowl favorite. But maybe 6-7 games in, they're 6-1, 7-1, and Derek Carr's leading the league in passing efficiency or whatever. I was like, wow, this is a pretty good trade. I don't know.
Last final thoughts, Jake. Last final thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Then we're going to make our Super Bowl picks.
Sure. He'll be back in Green Bay, and he'll be back in Green Bay for 3 years, and they'll have 3 heartbreaking playoff losses because Aaron Rodgers is a loser.
I wish I could disagree with you.
Oh,
Dude,
my God. Right. That's awful. That's awful.
I think they give him a 4-year extension. I think they give him a 4-year package deal with a monster contract, make him happy. And I hope you're wrong about the playoff disappointments. But
I do too. I do too. Look behind me, guys. I'm a fan, but I'm still mad, like Tom said.
We all are. But I think I only disagree with the one thing. They're going to hit it. Matt LaFleur is too good of a coach. That team is too good. Look, they got a lot of players that are like, who's that guy? Everybody in Green Bay knows him, but who's that guy?
Bold prediction. Packers score a special teams touchdown in the NFC playoff championship next season.
Yeah. No, I'm saying they will get one more Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers if he stays. If he stays, they will. Okay. And then he walks off into the sunset. Bookends for him. Not really bookends, but he'll end on a positive note like John Elway did. That's my prediction.
All right. Super Bowl Sunday, which I think should be on a Saturday, but that's another topic for conversation. Bengals, Rams. My heart says Bengals. My head says Rams.
Who day?
You're going Bengals?
Mike Daniels is a Cincinnati Bengal. He's a former Packer.
Yes.
And Mike Daniels actually sent me a message after some of the stuff going on in my life a few weeks ago. So that was pretty cool. So he's got a forever fan in me.
Oh, that's awesome. Good guy.
Yeah. So I was pissed when the Packers cut him because I didn't think they should have. But not just that, but Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. I actually think the Bengals are going to win. I do. Yeah. I think that eventually at some point a game like this comes into turnovers. I trust Joe Burrow to take care of the ball more than I do Matthew Stafford, which, I mean, Matthew Stafford's had a fantastic playoff run. But it's just the Bengals at some point feel like the team of destiny. They've been on the road every game except for that first one against the Raiders. They beat the Titans and the Chiefs. They just beat the closest thing we have to a dynasty in the modern NFL with Kansas City in Kansas City, down 21-3. If they're coming back and winning that game and shutting down Pat Mahomes, I think they can beat up Matthew Stafford a little bit.
And not only that, they made Pat Mahomes look like Bob Avellini.
Right. Right. And Mahomes stunk in the second half of the game. Like it was legitimately him that was bad. The only thing that worries me is the Bengals can't block anybody. And on the other side, it's Aaron Donald, who might be the best player in the entire sport, and Von Miller, who's also very good. Super Bowl MVP, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bengals Rams Sunday. I'm again, my heart says I hope the Bengals win, but I think the Rams pull it off. Something like a 22-18, some goofy score. And,
the Simpsons says Bengals 34, Rams 31. So if you believe the Simpsons are always right and know everything, then the Simpsons said the Bengals win.
Simpsons are right a lot of the time. Tom,
to me, this is as much a pick'em as there ever has been. It will not be a blowout, I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think my heart is definitely with the Bengals. I really think the Rams are going to win, but here's my only qualifier. Matthew Stafford, 2 weeks before the season ended, 3 weeks before, whatever, he threw 4 interceptions. The next week, he threw 3 interceptions. And he throws crucial interceptions. A lot like this guy. I know I keep bringing up Brett Favre. It drives me nuts. Protect the football. And for that reason alone, I want to go Bengals because I think Joe Burrow is going to protect the football. So you know what? I am going Bengals. I am. Because I think Matthew Stafford's going to throw a crucial interception. I just do.
And in a one late score situation, Mike Daniels gets MVP of the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, in your face, Packers. As much as I hate it, why would you cut a guy like that? I know it has to do with money. I know, and maybe I wish Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I said this when you were on earlier, Jake. Aaron Rodgers just needs to say, "Guys, cut my pay in half," and the guys we need. I think I did say that earlier when you were on. Just do what Tom Brady did. Stop with the crap.
Easy for me to tell somebody else to take less money. It's not my pocketbook.
They can make him an owner. Give him shares.
Oh, yeah, give him shares. Give him 10,000 shares. Who cares? Do whatever you got to do. But let's get a couple guys in there. Let's build up the special teams. Let's get a good punt returner. Let's go out and get an Allen Robinson. It doesn't have to be Allen Robinson, but it could be a lot of different guys with maybe 3 or 4 years on the tires left. That it could be like a Julio Jones or something like that. I don't know. Just get somebody and then get maybe another defensive lineman. Hey, how about Mike Daniels? I mean, my goodness.
But yeah, I hear you.
Oh no, I know.
Hey, Game On Wisconsin. Game On Wisconsin website is an awesome website. There's so many shows to choose from. You got a bank of podcasts to listen to. Jake, your tribute to your dad here a couple weeks ago was absolutely excellent. So anybody who hasn't checked out that yet, Game On Wisconsin, check that out. And any other final plugs before we say goodbye?
Yeah, you mentioned my dad. I actually have on the site now is a T-shirt that we're doing. 100% of the proceeds go to Rockford Pony Baseball right here locally. So if you don't want to purchase a shirt, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will let you know a way to do that. But all proceeds from that T-shirt go to my dad's memorial fund, which goes toward player fees of somebody maybe struggling to pay their player fees, or somebody who's got 10 kids that play out there. It gets expensive. So that's my last plug. I think it's a perfect one.
How many years did he coach out there?
From when I was 14, 15 years. And that was just out there. He coached in general for about 17, but yeah, about 15 years out there. So
I didn't know him well, but he was a good man.
I appreciate that.
Your dad was a good man. And
he was, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll keep in touch, and hopefully when this season kicks off in the fall, we can have you back to chat on what exactly happened with Aaron Rodgers and et al.
I think we need to do it. Let's do it sooner. Let's do it sooner, like in a month or two. When the draft starts rolling around, stuff like that. Because
I'm available whenever you guys want me. Alex Gary dusts me off every now and again to do some fun stuff like this too. So whenever you guys need me, I'm available.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you. Bye.
Jacob Westendorf. Game On Wisconsin. Check out Game On Wisconsin. And before I say hello, Joanne.
I came on without even knowing it.
We're covering you up with a Game On Wisconsin page just so people see it. There you go.
We're all covered up. There we go.
All right. It's the fur ball. What?
Can you hear me today?
That sounds way better this week. That microphone.
I'm on a new format.
Is it an iPad?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. This
and
sounds
I had Mike during the week set me up with Wi-Fi because I was having trouble getting on the pause Wi-Fi. So he set me up. So here I am.
You sent me the thing that talks about it's time. You can put in bids now for the silent auction.
I'm not sure it's virtual. Yeah, you have to pay $5 to be a part of it. So
okay,
I wasn't going to do the $5 since I'm going to be at the fur ball tonight. But it's not all the auction items, but some of the higher priced, better items, supposedly.
Okay,
like that red wagon thing.
I hope somebody pays big bucks for that. It's cool. It's very cool. Accepting bids now. Share or tag a competitive friend. Paws Humane Society Furball live virtual auction starts at 5:30 tonight. So that will be cool. Do we want to do a tour at all this week, or do we just want to share the pet of the week? What are you thinking, Joanne?
Well, I have trouble figuring out how to turn my camera around. That's my problem. I haven't figured that one out yet. But I can certainly take you around and face it the other way.
That we can do that. We can do that. Let me see. Where'd you go? I'm looking for a logo.
Oh.
And
I know. I just
there.
Enable camera, so then I unenabled it. I don't know how to turn it around. That's my problem.
You gotta find that little switch logo. I know sometimes it's so tiny it's hard to find. I know what you're saying.
And then the other problem is you hit the wrong button and then you don't know how to get it back.
Then I'm gone. So I just turn this around.
I hit some buttons this morning and I got freaked out right before the show because I hit some buttons. And
are you seeing kitties?
Yeah,
this is Winifred. It's a boy, though. I thought Winifred was a girl's name. Winfield? Maybe Winfield. He's too busy eating to care.
Winifred of Wobegon. It's the Princess and the Pea.
Oh, there you go.
This is Roman.
Rolling. Get those kitties rolling.
Way up high is Oliver. He looks a little not happy. It's like, you're disturbing my sleep.
That's right. Big O.
And this is Hamilton. We had Hamilton on the show a while ago. I wanted to say the really big cat, which is Sequoia, got adopted. Do you remember Sequoia? We talked about how big he was.
Yep.
But someone adopted him. I'm hoping I can't see this, so I'm like hoping I'm getting the picture of the cats. I'll have to work on this. Another bonded pair, Natasha and Yelena. They might still be the, I was going to say Halloween, Valentine's special, the 2-for-1. Oh, they think I've got food.
Where's the treats? You got my treats.
Where I don't see what he's hiding way in the back. This actually is a cat that's going home today. Another one of our black and white specials. This one's trying to master an escape plan. If I can get my paws under there, I can surely get away. Crenshaw. They do name these cats. And this is our pet of the week, Porridge.
Porridge?
Porridge, like peas porridge hot.
Wow.
Peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot, 9 days old.
Yes. That one I can see my reflection on that one, so I can see that one. I'll have to work a little bit to figure out how to turn my camera around. So of course tonight is fur ball. All of a sudden,
we're so excited for fur ball.
A bunch of people wanted tickets last minute, so I don't know. They didn't hear that it was cut off, and
well, it was a small crowd anyway, right? So, do we know what the final ticket total was?
No, I really don't know, but they cut it off February 6th, and all of a sudden this week people were trying to buy tickets. So
hopefully they'll join us via, the Furball live virtual auction on Facebook, which we've shared.
What they should do is they should say, yeah, you can come to the event, but you're going to order on your own. Your $50 or $60.
Unfortunately, the restaurant where we have the food does not have a restaurant. I mean, so you really, unless you go to the gas station across the street,
it's all catered.
Oh, okay. You're okay. That's a good point.
It's not like Giovanni's where you could go in the restaurant and order a hamburger.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I did not realize that, but yeah, it's a hotel, so yeah.
And we've been at Radisson, I think 5 or 6 years. We didn't have a furball last year,
right?
But we kind of held over, and so this is. I think it's been 5 or 6 years. Oh, he's switching us all around.
I'm playing around here, trying to learn all these options that Restream gives us. So, yeah,
this is kind of cool. This looks like Fox News.
And then join. Look what I can do here. I can cover up Tom, and it can just be you and me.
Oh, sure.
There we go.
Wow.
But I said, if you want to know about the virtual auction, there is a link on the Pause Facebook page, and I think it will be going on the whole starting. I guess it's starting now, but like I said, I didn't want to join it, so you have to pay $5 to put your bid in.
which will be totally worth it. You'll be supporting this awesome, wonderful cause, Paws Humane Society. I had someone ask me the other day if Paws does spay and neutering, and of course you guys help with that.
Well, it's kind of hard right now. We don't do as much TNR. Oh, and I wanted Tom to see my Super Bowl shirt. I wore it just for him.
Super Bowl.
Nice. Where did you get that?
At a store. So that way, if I decide the other team, I could just put my hands like this and vote for the team I want.
Have you decided to root for one, Joanne? Have you picked one?
Well, I think it's kind of funny. We've always kind of been partial to the Rams.
Okay.
My daughter went to Western, and the Rams did their summer training at Western, so we enjoyed watching them. And
I think St. Louis, yes, of course. When they were the St.
But
Louis
anyhow,
Rams.
Okay.
I'm what is it? Cheering for both teams.
Yeah.
And the Bengals I like the Tiger idea. The Bengals.
This is the year of the Tiger for Chinese New Year, and a lot of people are making hay with that, thinking, year of the Tiger. Maybe this is it. Maybe there's something in the numerology of it all.
I don't know. I wore this today just for you. I didn't wear my fur ball shirt. I wore this for you, Tom. I actually bought it. I don't know if I'm supposed to give calls up, but I bought it at Myers.
That's all right. That works.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want on this thing.
We don't get arrested.
No.
GoRockford.com if you're looking for other events besides the football.
But I'm actually backwards because when I'm holding my hair, and it's weird because this is my left hand, but on the radio it's my right. Does that make sense?
It looks like the left for me.
It's only backwards to you. It's the same thing for me. If I hold up this here, you'll read it normally. I read it backwards. But your Super Bowl comes out fine. It was your left hand that you were pulling your hair with? That's your left hand, yeah.
It was just confusing to me.
Yeah, the way you do
it's not even like looking in a mirror.
No,
it's not. The way you change it is you go into your image thing and you can mirror it, and then that'll change it around. But then it'll be backwards to us, and it'll look normal to you.
So you really don't want to do that.
No, you don't. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, hey, I'm on my iPad and I'm loud. I did it. You guys should be proud of me.
You did great.
Good job.
That's awesome. I hope it's a good game. The Super Bowl, for those who don't know, is being played at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, which is a $5.5 billion complex.
Yeah.
Wow.
The most expensive stadium in history.
Is that the big number of the week?
It's not, no, but it's privately financed. And the reason I bring it up is because in 2020, the Rams had an operating income of $37 million, according to Forbes. So that's 0.7% of the cost of the stadium. So it makes this whole SoFi campus out there in Inglewood, outside of Los Angeles, it makes no sense if it's only for football. It's going to be a huge, huge thing. It's 3 times the size of Disneyland. There's going to be over 500,000 square feet of retail space, over 2,500 homes, and a lot of commercial office space as well. So it's a $5.5 billion complex that's starting with this SoFi Stadium. It's a crazy awesome thing that what's his face? Stan Kroenke,
yeah.
Kroenke, he's the guy that's behind this whole thing. So and then of course the Chargers play there too.
Yeah.
There's a myth about the Super Bowl that we all go to the bathroom at halftime and we could ruin our plumbing. I just want to let you know that's all a myth. If everyone flushes at the same time, it's not going to ruin.
The whole world uses the bathroom at the Super Bowl.
It's highly unlikely that everyone in Rockford is going to flush at the exact same time and do anything bad to the sewer system in Rockford. But so that's a big myth.
Just to be safe, I'm going to go after the first quarter is over.
I thought usually people like to watch the
halftime show.
Show.
Never, ever, ever do I watch the halftime show. I have absolutely zero use for it.
Tom, we don't put much faith in what you say.
Oh, okay. What I do is I mute the halftime show, but I watch all the commercials. I'll unmute for commercials.
We always use the halftime show to fill our plates.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right. Before we get to the big number of the week, here's some other numbers for you. The average price of an NBA franchise has gone up 1,000% since 2002, according to CNBC. In less than 20 years, the value, the cost price of an NBA franchise has gone up 1,000%.
Wow. So if it cost you $1 million, whatever, now it's going to cost you $1 billion, right?
It's going to cost you $1 billion.
Yeah.
Sales of premixed cocktails have increased 42% year over year. It's a $1.6 billion industry now. The premixed cocktail industry, which is not, it's different than this hard seltzer industry. It's probably going to possibly surpass the latest craze, which is the whole hard seltzer thing. MIT, this is crazy. I'm still looking at this going, is this true? MIT scientists have created a new type of plastic 2 times as strong as steel.
There's no way. That way you
Lighter
could
and
build a
stronger.
house. You could build a house on plastic.
I read a little bit about the article where this quote came from, and it has something to do with the way that plastic polymers in its normal state is like spaghetti, but if you can line them up, they get stronger than steel. And someone's figured out a way to do that at MIT to make them flat instead of like spaghetti, and they're stronger than steel.
Huh,
I can
interesting.
just see a plastic skyscraper. The only problem is it melts in a fire really quickly. And it's coming down.
Every sunny day, it melts a little bit more.
Right.
And the Library of Congress has a huge collection of audio recordings, songs, speeches, interviews, and more on a website. And if you're ever bored for any whatsoever reason, loc.gov/audio, Library of Congress, loc.gov/audio. And there's just all kinds of stuff on there. If you're not finding a podcast you want to listen to and you want to listen to something else that's historical, how about from 1961, listening to Colombian writer Luis Lopez de Mesa reading from his work from 1961. It's on there. Sugarfoot Ray from 1992. It's on there.
Okay.
Round the Town, a Foxtrot from 1921. It's in the Library of Congress. loc.gov/audio. That's like really, really cool. So, all right, big number of the week. We have a current score of 4-1. The big number is 11 billion. Right on. Yeah. 11 billion. And this week's answer is Switch or Spotify. Switch or Spotify. Do you have your guess ready? Give it to me, please. 3, 2, 1, go.
Switch.
Switch. Sorry, that's right.
Switch.
Yeah, we're both going with Switch.
You're both going with Switch. All righty. So the here we go. Nintendo.
You made him speechless.
Nintendo sold 10.67 million units of the Nintendo Switch. Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Last quarter. That brings the total units sold to 103.54 million Switches out there. How wild is that? 11.53 or 11.
Disappointed face.
Yeah. Anyway, Switch has outsold Nintendo Wii in less than 5 years. Spotify is your answer. Sorry, kids. Spotify has pulled in $11 billion in revenue last year, has 406 million users, and 180 million of those users are paid subscription users. Do you pay for your Spotify, Tom? I don't.
Oh, I do, because I use it for trivia. I have to, and I use it for DJing as well.
Spotify.
May I recommend
I will gladly pay the $10, because if you remember when I DJ'd a high school prom.
Oh, it's like the music
homecoming?
thing?
It's music. It's
Oh,
music
maybe I do have it then. I don't know.
and podcasts. There's a lot on there, so I use it for podcasts mainly.
When I was DJing Homecoming, I relied on Spotify quite a bit to get some of the songs I needed. So I don't know if I'm supposed to, but well, I can. I pay for it. I pay $10 a month.
Absolutely, it's yours. It's yours to use.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jacob from Game On, Wisconsin. Jake Westendorf, sharing some his Packer knowledge. They share a whole lot.
I want to say before to thank you again, Greg, for last week. My birthday was awesome, and that really blew me away with having those 4 special guests. I mean, that was the greatest thing. Nothing could top that. That was great.
Well,
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I hope you had an awesome day. And
I had a really great day.
Lynn's going to Lino's, by the way, for dinner. Thanks.
Yeah, I see that. I hope you have a great time, Lynn.
Do we know Lynn?
You change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another Saturday Good Morning Stateline show. Go Super Bowl. Yay, sports.
Football, Super Bowl, and Valentine's Day all in one weekend.
Wow.
What a weekend.
Enjoy it. That
Live it up.
Next week.
See you later.
Bye-bye. I don't know how to leave.